Hello and welcome to our Nikken Wellness Community Call. My name is Mike DiMuccio from Toronto, Canada, a former aerospace engineer and a senior member of the Nikken community, 29 years as of today. I'd like to set an intention for this call that with an open mind and open heart, you'll find our message to be congruent with a better quality of life for yourself and feel compelled to join our global wellness community. For 45 years now, Nikken has been championing the cause of total wellness through a deep understanding of the need for individuals to be more in harmony with nature and for personal success to be more in alignment with freedom and fairness. We call it humans being more. It's expressed through a balance in 5 key pillars of wellness and with active engagement through a wellness lifestyle. Today's call features many exceptional humans being more. There's 3 parts to this call. In part 1, hosted by Nikken Royal Diamond wellness consultant and best-selling author Ben Woodward, we'll hear from the personal experiences and benefits received with Nikken from community members of varied backgrounds all over the world. In part 2, Ben will continue with an overview to the scope, depth, and relevance of Nikken as a better way for achieving total wellness through our active wellness approach. And finally, in part 3, Nikken Royal Diamond and physiologist Dr. Gary Lindner will host a Q&A session of our presenters, as well questions from yourself. Please write your questions in the chat as we go through the presentations. We'll answer as many as possible in the time remaining. Also, a follow-up email has been prepared for you for your review after the call. It'll be shared by the person who invited you to this call. So now sit back, enjoy. Over to you, Ben.
Thank you very much and welcome everyone. It's always a pleasure to be with you. And this is one of my favorite meetings of all because amongst all of the things that we share, we get to hear the testimonials and personal experiences of some of our wonderful partners in this wellness community. I don't want to steal their time from them. They've got just a few minutes each to share an awful lot of feeling and sentiment and really prioritize what are the best bits to share from their many years of experience with Nikken. So I'm going to jump right in and introduce our first 3 people that are going to share their testimonials with us. First, we're going to hear from Marion Timms over in the United Kingdom. After Marion has spoken, we're going to jump over to Florida and hear from Linda Morris. And after Linda Morris has shared her experience, we're going to hear from Randy Rolfe. And then I'll jump back in and introduce our next 2 speakers. Over to you, Marion.
Thank you very much, Ben. Good evening, everybody. Well, it's good evening in the UK. I'm an Aquarian, so I'm very excited about the age of Aquarius starting. So picture, if you will, my previous life. I was a biomedical scientist in the NHS for 27 years, very involved, very stressful job working in air-conditioned environment. And every fall, as you call it over there, I would have what was a virus with streaming eyes. I'd be off work for 2 years. It was becoming a bit of a joke. Anyway, I'd had enough. I thought enough is enough, mid-50s. I retrained as a reflexologist and thought I'd left science behind me. So while networking with the reflexology, I had a pair of magnetic insoles waved in my face. And I thought, that's interesting. 3 weeks later, with a lot of umming and ahhing, I joined Nikken and I've never looked back. I invested in first the waterfall filter, then the sleep system, and I now have the whole range of products. And guess what? After 9 months of using the products, I realized that I'd got through the first autumn with not a single sniffle. And that's been the case for the last 3 years. Amazing. The products themselves are fantastic. They are literally life-changing, all the results I've seen. I love promoting them, selling them, passing them on to people. It's my mission to get Nikken a household name within the UK. And next year, I'm looking to build my team. If you're interested in improving your life and being a better version of yourself, I highly recommend this company. I typically work with professional business people now, helping them sleep to achieve restorative sleep. I sleep every night in an amazing cocoon of magnetic energy, and it's fabulous. I'm told I look healthy, I'm told I look a lot younger, and this will be the story for so many Nikken consultants who have been using the products. If it's genetic, great, but I think the products contribute. Thank you for listening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Marion. And you're absolutely right. The immediate benefits that we can receive from some of these products that Nikken offers is incredible and visible, like you said. Often it can be very visible to others. And you mentioned sleep. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. certainly something that is becoming more relevant to more people now in this chaotic world, is the need for good restorative sleep. So thank you so much. Linda, your thoughts, please.
Yes. Well, when I discovered Nikken, I was somebody that lived with daily agony on my head, my neck, and my shoulders, constant agony, 24 hours a day for over 20 years. And I tried everything you can imagine. And an acupuncturist introduced me to Nikken. And she said the products kind of work like acupuncture, but without the needles. And so she sold me a product. I used it every day, but only 5 minutes at a time. So for the first 2 weeks, it did nothing, just like I expected, because you're skeptical sometimes in life. And then she convinced me to use it for 25 minutes straight everywhere I was hurting. And I was like, what else do you have? This is amazing. And so that's where I invested in my sleep system and also daytime products. And fortunately, I had Barbara Bertucci coaching me, because my first couple days weren't perfect. And she coached me through it just to make sure. And that was vital. And she gave me hope. You know, when other people have had an issue and they've had success, that gives you hope. And so fourth morning I woke up, I didn't hurt, I had more energy, and it was amazing. And then she asked me a very important question. Do you know other people that live with that agony? I said, yeah, I know several. And she's like, are you going to keep this from them? I'm like, oh no, I got to share. I finally have a solution. And she's like, that's all we do. We do show and tell. It's up to the person what they do or they don't do. But if somebody hadn't shared with you, you'd still be in daily agony. And she was right. So thanks to her and me just learning to step out of your comfort zone and share. Would you like a solution? Are you looking for better health? Would you like to feel better? Would you like to look like you're 27 when you're really 56? We have something for you. And, you know, the whole world right now needs better sleep. They need to be healthier and to prevent issues. And this is what Nikken has done for me every day in January, it'll be 25 years. So I'm forever grateful. And if you want a business with a vision that has the opportunity to change millions of people's lives, that's the gift of Nikken. And it just takes you being friendly and offering possible solutions if people are looking.
Thank you so much, Linda. I want to just ask a quick question, if that's all right, because you said something that grabbed my attention. Come January, 25 years you'll have been in Nikken, but you also talked about how it's helped you a lot in alleviating the discomfort and some of the health challenges that you've faced in using the Nikken products. But Barbara asked you a really important question. Are you going to keep this from the others that you know that are feeling that way? Over 25 years, you must have helped a lot of people. How has it felt being an instrument in that way of making a difference and helping people feel better?
It can give you tears of joy. I remember being at a New Jersey event one time, and this family, it was like 7 different families to get to them to be introduced by Nikken. And they came up to me and thanked me because their daughter hadn't been able to leave the house for about 3 years. And they're sharing the story. In fact, Barbara was with me. And I mean, we were like, wow. I mean, just the impact that you can make on other people's lives that you don't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, that is healthy society. And, it's just, but sometimes you have to start with yourself. If you aren't feeling great, you're out of balance. Yeah. So sometimes you have to give yourself love first before you're able to share it. And Nikken, everything they provide, there isn't anything that I would want to be without. It's just my way of life. It's a wellness lifestyle. And all of my friends, they all have waterfalls. Most of them all have insoles. A lot of them have sleep systems, everything, and I walk my talk, I'm authentic. I share from my heart.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. I really appreciate that, Linda. And already we're getting people commenting in the chat. Sue Gruber has said that, she's been told that she's been an answer to someone's prayer in the way that she's been able to provide support. Just absolutely wonderful, the difference we can make. Randy, do you want to unmute your line, please, and share your experience?
Yes, I'm going to go back to 1976 for a moment. My husband and I quit our jobs as Philadelphia lawyers and bought an old broken down farmhouse near the Canadian border to start our family and live more in harmony with nature. We grew our own organic food. We followed nature's day-night rhythm, and we minimized electric wiring and heated and cooked with wood. It was really awesome. And when people came to visit, we put them to work and they loved it, but they asked us why they never got tired in our house. And we figured that it must be because we had a dirt basement and a wood floor and nothing was blocking the energy of the earth. So we really valued what we were doing. Meanwhile, we volunteered to help a group of Native Americans and farmers who were suing to stop the construction of an ultra high voltage electrical transmission line across their land. And we found research on the effects of electromagnetic pollution from similar lines already in Canada. And we heard that homes and schools had more cancer closer to these lines, and farmers reported infertility in their dairy cows. And we saw pictures of 2-headed calves and 14-inch dandelions. So the line did go through, but the court made the power company buy twice as much land as it had planned to. So it was a good win. And basically we ran out of money then and returned to the Philadelphia suburbs with our 2 small children. And I worked from home, writing and teaching. And then when the kids were grown, I put out a wish that I wanted to reach more people with what we had learned living simply close to nature. And it wasn't long before a naturopathic doctor I knew sent me a tape, and I kept forgetting to listen. So he asked to stop by. And as soon as he described products from Japan that replicated the Earth's natural energy field, I knew this is what I wanted. At the same time that we had moved to the country trying to reconnect with nature and avoid energy pollution, this visionary, Mr. Masuda over in Japan, had figured out how to reconnect us and protect us without having to move at all. I sold 2 sleep systems in my first week and never looked back. It's such a joy to empower others to feel better and to rediscover their hopes for a long-term health. So the bottom line is our bodies are meant to work for a lifetime. We just need to give them the natural support and the protection they need. And Nikken is the one-stop shop for that. So
thank you so much. Thank you, Randy. I'm not sure about you, ladies and gentlemen, but there seems to be a very clear theme running through these testimonials that are being shared. And that is that we get the opportunity here to have an impact for good, to make a difference, and to lift people's lives, to enrich them, and to empower others, which in turn provides reward and meaning and value for our own. That's a wonderful theme, don't you think? So I want to now move over to Mexico. We're going to hear from 2 wonderful ladies that are inspirational and very high achievers here in Nikken. First, we're going to hear from Barbara Garcia, and after Barbara has spoken, we'll hear from Alejandra Castillo Nava. So Barbara, over to you.
Hi everyone. Hi Ben. Thank you for the invitation, Mike and Gary. Well, 11 years ago, I resigned for my job in the pharmaceutical industry. I was the event manager. I have a lot of stress and traveling a lot, but I love it. When I decided to be a mom, I quit and I want to stay home and be a full-time mother. So after 2 years, I had the need to look for options to continue my personal and professional growth. So a friend of mine introduced me to Nikken and the philosophy of the 5 pillars of health. And I very identified with the mental and the financial pillars. So Nikken for me and my family has been an incredible trip. I think about the best trip of your lives. When you travel, you feel very excited. You know people, have friends, discover new things, take a lot of learning. And the most important, you keep all those in your memories. So for me, Nikken is a trip like that. I can test myself to work in my limiting beliefs, dream big, work in my strengths, hand in hand with a team that vibrates in the same sense, and it's wonderful. The Nikken community makes everything easier to achieve. You surround yourself with people with a lot of dreams and talents and share the knowledge with all. So their combination, it's magical because allow us to grow all. for me, it's the best experience in my life. So I find my biggest purpose in this community, and I'm very grateful for that, because I can impact others, impact myself, impact my family in so many ways that I never lived before. So if you want to have a wonderful trip and to leave a legacy, join Nikken and help us to share health, joy, and financial freedom for more people. This is the way, is sharing, is vibrating the same sense of joy, of happiness, and it's wonderful for me. Now, 8 years after, I can tell you that I find that I was looking for. I'm very grateful and I'm very happy to stay home with my kids. I built a business with my friends and with my family, and I don't think it's more another business model like this. So thank you very much for inviting me, and I hope I inspire you to be with us.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Barbara. Every time I hear you speak, you're inspirational. So it's wonderful. What I loved about what Barbara just said, and I'm not sure if you picked up on this, was the accelerating impact of working together as a team. We heard before, Barbara, in the other testimonials, how we can make a difference with others and how that in turn makes a difference for us. But what Barbara shared was something really interesting, was the opportunity that we have to see our personal growth accelerated because we're working together as a community. That community works on the inside and on the out, doesn't it? That was really, really insightful. Thank you very much. So Alejandra, our last testimonial for this morning, please share.
Hello, hola, buenos dias, good morning, guten Abend. Thank you for the invitation. I want to share my story. It's always challenging to speak in English, but I will do my best. I hope you understand my Latin accent. My mother introduced me to Nikken many years ago. Of course, I said no because I thought I didn't have the skills, I didn't have the time, and sales didn't match my profession. 5 years passed since that first invitation, and then she asked me to join Nikken again as a favor to her. I couldn't say no to a favor to my mother. This last invitation was 10 years ago, about this time of the year. In January, I usually write my New Year's resolutions, and I thought that Nikken could be a good vehicle to earn $200. That was my goal. I just wanted $200 for my expenses. I had 3 small children by then. The youngest one was 6 months old. My mom told me, don't worry about finding customers to sell products. She told me, I didn't invite you to be a water salesperson. I say this because in Mexico, water is the product we sell the most. She said, I invited you to be an entrepreneur or a businesswoman. She told me to worry more about finding a big network. Botanas say muchas personas rápido, which is find a lot of people fast. I listened to her, and by the end of my first year, I had over 100 people in my team. But honestly, Nikken was only a hobby to me because I had the income of my husband and he could support the 5 of us. So I had no structure, I had no calendar, I had no training schedule. But the biggest change came when I got pregnant with my 4th children that we weren't planning on that. He was born on December the 2nd. And during that December, I couldn't go to presentations or arrange meetings or training. I stayed home with my baby and I received an $8,000 check. It might not be a lot, but for me, it helped me to see the potential. I thought, wow, I didn't go to trainings, I stayed home, and my small group, it's already making $8,000 without any structure, without any training. So that's the potential it has. What will happen if I change? The products will be the same, the compensation plan will be the same. I am going to change. So I did, I changed, and I asked my team who wanted this as a real business. And I was surprised that 8 people raised their hands and say, I want to do this as a serious business. All of those 8 people now are Royal Diamonds or Diamonds. My life has changed so much over these 10 years. My mom got sick, and she passed away in 2018. She was my upline. And she inherited, I like to say, a tangible heritage and an untangible heritage. The untangible is the example that she gave me as a woman, as a person. She was always wanting to help people. She was always leading by the example. And the tangible is that her business did not disappear. My sister-in-law, Gabi Brasel, and I work every month, and I receive an income for the business she developed 20 years ago. In these 10 years, my life has changed so much. I joined Nikken because I wanted a $200 income for my own expenses. I could have never imagined that by building a team, by creating a system, and by leading with the example, I can have the business that I have today. I have today more than 9,000 consultants, and my husband lost his job a year ago. And we didn't have to worry because now Nikken is our main income, and we can live a very happy life with our Nikken income, that it gives us freedom as well, because I can stay home, I can be with my children, I can be a witness of how they grow, and there's no money that can pay enough for that gift. So in these 10 years, my life has changed so much, and I'm sure it will keep changing. And you know what? Your life will change too. So the decisions we make now will impact our future. That is why I invite you to join this wonderful business, because I am sure that someday, before you know it, you will present your success story, and I will be very happy to listen to it. Thank you for your invitation.
Oh, wow. Alejandra, what a journey you have had, and what an incredible story you have shared. So much packed into those few minutes. It's incredible, isn't it, how we can start small and yet grow into something so incredible that we didn't really anticipate could be ours. That to me is one of the really exciting things that Nikken presents as an opportunity for anyone. It gives us, this word hope has come out a couple of times in some of these testimonials, a hope for something better, an anticipation of something that can lie in our future that is more rewarding than we currently enjoy. And it often is the case that the reward comes back, as Alejandra has said, far greater than we could have imagined. And the rewards, yes, you can have financial rewards, your own business and what have you, but as Alejandra said, being present with her children is something just can't put a price tag on. And I see a number of nodding heads there with other mothers and fathers on the call that relate experience. And so thank you very much. It's just an absolute pleasure to hear each of your testimonials. So Mike, shall I just jump straight into our—
yeah, let me give you a proper introduction before you do that. So you can go ahead and transition. So Ben Woodward is from Orange County, California now, although he's traveled and lived in multiple places in the world. He's 15 years as a senior executive. He's a best-selling author. This year he has, according to Entrepreneur Magazine, one of the top 5 most impactful personal development books out there. Maybe Ben, you can share a little bit more about that. In Nikken, since 2011, in various roles from the corporate to the field. He's currently a Royal Diamond in rank and my sponsor in Nikken. Married for 20 years, father of 7, and 8th one due in just a few weeks. So congratulations for all that.
Yeah,
Ben?
Thank you very much. Yes, it's yeah, I totally relate to what Alejandra and Barbara were saying about wanting the time with the children. My wife is expecting our 8th child in literally a matter of weeks. It's frightening how fast that has come about. But yeah, a few weeks away and she's going to be here, our little one. So I'm going to share my screen here. And I want to ask you a question. As you look at this lady here, We know what she's doing. She's singing, of course, but how is she feeling? Each of us, I want to begin by asking a few questions of you today as the listeners and participants. Each of us have a song within us that we wish to sing. Do you feel right now that life is providing you the vehicle or the means to let that song out? Are you having the chance to raise your voice to a cause that resonates with your values and your purpose? Do you have a mission that you want to achieve and see realized in your life, an impact that you want to have in the world, but you're not seeing the vehicle or the means by which to deliver that? I want to answer some of these questions today because these are critical questions for everyone if they are to experience the happiness and fulfillment they want in life. The Dalai Lama said it best: no matter what part of the world we come from, we are all basically the same human beings. We all seek happiness and try to avoid suffering. We have the same basic human needs and concerns. All of us human beings want the freedom and the right to determine our own destiny as individuals and peoples, as human nature. It's true, isn't it? We want to enjoy happiness and we want to avoid suffering. One of the best ways we can do that, in our experience, is founded and discovered here in the cause and purpose that Nikken established its business on 45 years ago. Back in 1975, Nikken discovered and identified a new definition for success. And we call it balance in what we've established as the 5 pillars of wellness: a healthy mind, a healthy body, a healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. And as you can see at the center of that image there is purpose. When we are focused on our purpose and we get balance in those 5 areas of life, we can achieve a greater sense of abundance and fulfillment in our lives. So my question to you is, as you look at those 5 areas, and I'll repeat them one more time: mind, body, family, society, finances, is there a gap anywhere that causes you discomfort? Is there a space perhaps where you're feeling a degree of vulnerability? I know 2020 as a year has been quite a catastrophic one for many people, and it has exposed degrees of vulnerability and concern in a number of these areas: mind, body, family, society, finances, for a lot of people and a lot of industries around the world. But for you personally, that's what matters most right now. How are you doing? I want you to keep that gap in mind, because our goal today, as I go through this presentation now, is to really help identify what that gap might be for you, and critically, how we can close it. My goal isn't to do a sales pitch by any stretch. It's quite the opposite. It's really to understand what the needs are and to provide solutions. We have some solutions of that, we're confident. And as Mike said at the beginning of the call, with an open mind and an open heart, perhaps we might discover some of those solutions over the next few minutes. We certainly see, as people are pursuing a healthy life and balance in those 5 areas, we see the way that they pursue it over time, don't we? And we see this trend. It's called the compound effect, that when small choices are made consistently over time, we experience radical difference. And that difference can lead, as you can see here, to this lady looking happy in the top right-hand corner, or this lady looking sad in the bottom right-hand corner. That compounding effect of small choices applied consistently over time creates radical difference in a number of areas of our lives: in our income, in our health, in our relationships, in our happiness, and in our sense and definition of success in life. Now, what's interesting is, unfortunately, as a mass, as a collective group of people, we start to see that a lot of people make the wrong choices over time and end up with the wrong outcomes. But we also see, as a result of that, new trends develop as they try to put it right. Have you noticed that? We can look back over our lives and see certain things aren't working to our advantage or the way they hoped. And if I keep on doing what I've always done, I'm always going to get what I always got. So maybe I need to do something different. Well, here are some trends that have been developing in 2020 as a result of people's desire to achieve more, become more, and get a better balance. First of all, we see a shift. We talked about this at the beginning. Marion mentioned this before in helping people to improve and get a good night's sleep. Sleep as a market, as a marketplace for business, is a $432 billion market. And yet we see there are still too many people out there in the world not getting a good night's sleep. What we want is a deep restorative sleep, rejuvenating sleep, meaningful sleep, restful sleep. People aren't getting enough of that. And they are looking at different ways to address the circadian rhythm of our bodies, the natural biological way we've been designed, in order to address those solutions and find a better way forward. We also see another interesting trend developing, that the aging demographic are being rebranded as positively cool. I love that. They're being recognized as people that have lived a little bit, have gained some experience, and are realizing that they can make better choices. They're more active, they're more vibrant, and they're more engaged than ever before. And as a consequence, businesses are certainly recognizing they are a place where we want to be able to provide greater support and resource. Japanese wellness is something, again, that is becoming very relevant as a global trend. What is Japanese wellness? What does that mean? It's where you get the marriage of two things: the marriage of revered ancient traditions combined with innovative technologies, producing very different outcomes with our health and our well-being. I'll give you some context. You can see it right here on the slide. In Japan in 1965, they had 153 centenarians in their country. That's a huge number by any stretch, by any comparison. But in 2017, as a result of their focus on healthy living, they had gone from 153 people living over 100 years old to 67,824. Oh my goodness, that is a big difference. As a consequence of that, the world is looking to Japan. What are they doing differently? What are their technologies? What is it that they're doing that combines these revered traditions with new technologies and new mindsets? We also see another trend coming as well, and I think everyone that's listening today will relate to this: a new need to provide new support for, unfortunately, new modern day issues, such as burnout, anxiety, stress, and loneliness. These are words I think all of us have heard a lot of, especially this past year, but certainly much longer than that. Do you know people, or do you perhaps relate yourself to experiencing some of these feelings? Do you know people that are suffering burnout, that are overwhelmed with anxiety and unnecessary stress, or that are experiencing too much loneliness, perhaps? So we're seeing new trends here that are seeking to identify and resolve those issues. We're seeing a huge surge as well in doctors and wellness practitioners uncovering new potential with electromagnetics, light and sound interventions to heal our body from an energetic perspective. Our bodies are, after all, energy, aren't they? We're seeing more wellness sabbaticals taking place, people wanting to go out and just get away from the world and just get better and heal and thrive and prosper emotionally and physically for just a season. But we also see new trends as well, where a lot of people are seeing so much information that they now need to want to separate the wheat from the chaff. They want the science behind it. Where's the data? Show me the evidence, so that they can see what's really working, what isn't. That certainly makes more sense as well. But here's an interesting one as well. As people are focusing more on wellness and well-being, and perhaps as we look at 2020 and what it's done to our economy, there's a new word that's coming out, by the way, that's becoming in the Global Economic Forum of the Great Reset that is coming out. But that's a whole different conversation. But as we're seeing financial economies start to shift as a result of what's been taking place this past year, we don't just see a focus on global wellness changing. We also see new words popping up in the search engines for people's interest and their attention: direct selling, business from home, gig economy, online marketplace, digital marketing, social media, and of course, wouldn't you know it, Zoom meetings. Why are these coming up? Because people are recognizing the fragility of the world in which we live and the need for diversity, not just in their life in general for well-being and happiness, but certainly for their financial pillars too. That will certainly lead to greater peace of mind and security for families and mental health. Now, why do I share all of this? Because it has huge relevance for Nikken. Nikken was established 45 years ago, long before the fad of being green, or the trends of being green, the importance of being green, long before all of these words were becoming fads and trendy and popular. We recognized the value of having holistic wellness. And we knew that the most important place to start was in our own home. It was mentioned earlier on in the testimonials that, you know, in many instances, the best place to start is with ourselves before reaching out to someone else. I wouldn't say just in many instances, I would say almost all the time that is the case. So Nikken's provided a product portfolio that is focused and devoted to holistic well-being. We have clean, fresh, rejuvenating air, rich with negative ions to give your home environment, your indoors, a space that feels like you're outside, right next to the waterfall, right next to crashing ocean waves, right in the middle of a forest. What a beautiful space to be. Fresh, clean, water to drink, purified, minerally enriched, that is beautifully alkaline, that is beautiful to taste and good for your body. Deep restorative sleep systems that help us to get the best sleep so that our minds and bodies can be at maximum performance, both at night and during the day. And of course, organic skincare and nutritional foods to give us the best on the inside so we can feel good at everything we do on the outside. What a great space to begin. So our pathway to active wellness begins with what we call the Nikken Wellness Home. And we start, like I said, and like others have said today, with ourselves, and we build outwards to make a difference with others that want to enjoy some of those same privileges and benefits to their well-being, their home environment, for their families as well. Now, if I introduce you very briefly to our products, more specifically, we see different categories here. We have, like I said, nutrition and skincare, natural and organic. We have environmental products, such as our waterfalls and our shower systems, our sports bottles, made with biodegradable plastics that help us not just to have better water for our own bodies and for our own environment, but also for the world at large, where we put less plastic out there into the environment that we live in. So we're looking after our planet as well as looking after our people. And then Randy mentioned this earlier, our magnetic technologies that have such a wonderful grounding effect. We live too much. We were designed as human beings to have our feet in the ground, grounded with a connection to the Earth's magnetic fields. And it's good for our bodies. But too often we're living in boxes, driving in cars, and disconnected from that earthing grounding effect. And we have technologies that help reverse that. These are the Japanese technologies that are catching the world's attention and creating such longevity for so many people as a consequence. So we have wonderful products there. And of course, I've only tipped the iceberg. We have a whole catalog full of even more products. But I love the expressions on these faces, these people here. Don't they look good? Active, engaged in health and fitness, deep restorative sleep, active in building their bodies and taking care of themselves, feeling beautiful and happy and healthy. I love that. I love that. So we also have, if people want to get introduced to these products or want to start strong, we have some special offers that we offer people that provide them discounts or free shipping. We have a water product pack that provides you free shipping, our energy pack or our sleep pack that will give you added discounts to help people make great choices. We've got here good, better, best. We all know the difference between right and wrong, don't we? The great challenge for many of us isn't in choosing between right and wrong, it's between choosing between good and better and best. But this is the nice thing. With the sleep pack, not only do you get your 10% discount, but we also have other bonuses. This one's called the Power Start. I love this one because with the Power Start, you get what we call Nikken reward points, 100 points, which means 100 points worth of free Nikken product. So you also get the chance to get more products as a result of some of your purchases. Nikken knows how to encourage us to make good choices. Now, I want to come back to this image here because I believe the reason Nikken has done so well and prospered for 45 years is because of its cause in making a difference in people's lives by helping them pursue balance in these 5 areas of wellness. And we see the mind, body, family, society definitely being represented in the trends of 2020, like I talked about. However, critically, we also see the concern on that bottom pillar right there, finances. How are you doing in your financial pillar? This is a critical question. And this is a rhetorical one. You don't need to answer in the chat group or respond verbally here, but I want you to answer the question nonetheless, please. In your financial pillar, how strong is it? Do you have confidence in it? If you didn't change anything that you're doing now, today, or over the course of 2020, if you did not make any changes to your finances that you're from your behavior now, in 5 years' time, how would it look? Would that pillar be stronger, or would it be weaker, or would it be just the same? What do you want that pillar to look like? This is really important. Nikken has solutions to strengthen people's financial pillar. And what I love about it is it is non-confrontational when it comes to getting out of your comfort zone at first. I say at first because the reality is, in order to grow, we need to get outside of our comfort zones. But my point is this, for less than $100, you can join Nikken and get your own personal webpage and your own shopping cart and immediately begin to share the Nikken products with those that you know and love that would like to benefit from those wonderful technologies. In addition to that, it immediately gives you the opportunity to start recommending it and promoting it to others, not just in the form of the products, but as Alejandra and Barbara shared, in developing a team and a community of your own. Yes, you're a part of the wellness community at large in Nikken, but you can also build your own wellness community and get rewarded for it. What do you have to do? It's real simple. It's invite. In fact, Linda said this, didn't she? Barbara Bertucci taught her when she began 25 years ago. Show and tell. Show and tell. We show and we tell the great benefits of being involved in Nikken. And we share the bits that people want to know benefit them the best. Yeah, that's what I said earlier, isn't it? My goal is to understand what are your needs and then find the solutions that suit your challenges so that you can close the gap between where you are and where you want to be and provide strength and security to some of those pillars where you feel vulnerability. Now, the great thing is in starting your own business with Nikken, Nikken does the tough stuff. They manage all the inventory. They do the research and development. They do the warehousing and the operations, the legal work, the product registrations, and all of that kind of stuff. And each and every month, they reward us with our commissions and they make the payments and they provide us incentives and rewards to help us keep moving forwards. That's fantastic. We get to do the fun stuff. So the bit that I like about this is just how collaborative it really is. We heard this from the testimonials already. We don't need to quit our jobs to get started. It's a low entry point to begin. There's no huge financial risk to that end. It's a turnkey entrepreneurial system, meaning the nice thing is you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to see what other people are doing that's successful and copy it. Show and tell is what you do. And if you want to know what to show and tell, see what other people are doing and copy. How simple is that? And of course, what I love, and again, this has been repeated here already, Barbara mentioned this in her testimonial, the opportunity for personal development is through the roof. Because yes, we do have to get out of our comfort zone. We do need to stretch, but if you want to achieve your best life and become the best version of yourself, if you want to strengthen those pillars where there is vulnerability and insecurity and inadequacy, then yes, we need to work and get outside of ourselves, stretch, be a little bit uncomfortable, but you've got a network around you that provides you support. That's the bit that's so powerful, so that you don't have to feel on your own. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And we've got the key here that really makes it different. And other companies like Amazon and Uber have already switched onto this. It's called leverage and scalability. They have recognized that by engaging and empowering people in an online environment, they can leverage their business and have significant growth as a consequence. Nikken does the same thing. By leveraging the power of teamwork, you can connect to more people and your business can multiply far bigger than your own personal efforts could allow. Thus, you move from trading your time for money to creating a business of your own, a machine that can work independently and give you the freedom, like others have expressed today, to spend time with your family and prioritize your time for the things that matter most, which is fantastic. And the nice thing is, you get to do it absolutely anywhere. You can tell by my accent, I'm not from California, but here I live because I can build my business anywhere in the world. And Orange County, Southern California is a pretty nice place to be building. This afternoon, I'm heading to the beach with my family. So, and here's one point that I want to emphasize as well. And I think this is really important. If some of you are listening today and going, yes, I need to strengthen my financial pillar, but my challenge is this: I'm not a business person. You're saying that I can have my own business. I've not done business before. That's okay. Nikken recognizes that, and as a consequence, they have built within their own environment of compensation and reward a business plan just for you, so that step by step, you can go through the key milestones and the key indicators of moving in the right direction that you need to go to in order to reach your own personal goals. And in doing so, on top of the commissions and the retail rewards and receipt and retail commissions and payments that you get and all the other bonuses, they provide you additional bonuses for doing the right thing. These other bonuses, as you can see, look like free products, cash bonuses, local or international holidays, and lifestyle rewards. Who doesn't want that? I don't know. I can't think. So we've got so many different ways that we can earn money and earn rewards and have incentives that improve our lifestyle and give us the chance to spend it, our life the way we want. And this is the most important part for me. Like I've touched on this already. As you join Nikken, you've got a team of support around you to help you reach your goals. Mentors, coaches, meetings and events like this, tools and trainings, websites and webinars, because we know how to leverage the power of teamwork. That's important, isn't it? So together, we truly do get to achieve more. So the question is this: as you look at the 5 pillars of wellness, a healthy mind, healthy body, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances, which of those areas causes you concern? Where is there a gap? How do you want to close it? Is there a space here where Nikken can provide some solutions for you and make life more rewarding, more rich, and more purposeful? If so, you've got 3 choices. You can be a customer and begin your own wellness home today. You can be a consultant and start beginning to explore the opportunity of sharing this business and community with others. Or you can be an influencer and say, I really want to leave a legacy. I want to make a contribution to the world that really matters and counts, and get out there and do something much bigger. The choice is yours. Good, better, best. Which do you choose? All of them are great, but of course the decision is yours. I would invite you to consider one last time this lady singing. Is now the time for you to let that song come out and to let it sing? Is now the time to raise your voice and to let the world see what you can do? I hope so. I hope it is. And please know, if you choose to partner with us, that you have a team behind you that is anxious and willing to support you every step of the way so that you can achieve your goals and your dreams. And as you can hear from our testimonials, the joy is in the giving and in the sharing and in the participation in the community. And together we don't just achieve more, we become more. And that's really what our business is all about. So thank you very much. Please get back to the person that invited you to watch this, listen to it, ask them your questions, share with them your decisions and choices. Let us help you to close the gap. Thank you very much. And I'll pass the time back to you, Mike.
Wow, Ben, that was fantastic. I agree with Bo Tennis. I think that was one of the best presentations I've ever seen. So thank you for sharing and enlightening us on the value and the opportunity in front of us here. We're now going to transition to our final segment in the day today with Dr. Gary Lindner. Just a bit of an introduction. He's from Lodi, California, doctor of physiology with major faculty positions at major universities. 30 years of business experience from startups to multi-million-dollar multinational biotech companies. He's featured in numerous health publications. Thanks to him, we have this one to share with you today, The Self-Care Awakening. The individual who invited you has that in their email as a link. And he's been a Nikken advocate for over 23 years. He is currently a Nikken Royal Diamond in rank. Welcome, Dr. Gary Lindner.
Thank you, Michael. This has been a great zoom in, all right? And the other thing I want to mention too, I really like the updated presentation, Ben, and it flows very well. I love that it's positively cool, like myself. In fact, I just turned 69 on December 6th, and I'm saying that because I met two new people yesterday, and and they were colleagues of mine in the assisted reproductive field, and met with them. They live about 40 miles away. I'd never met them before. And we were sitting there chatting. And so we were getting to know each other, and they basically asked my age. And I said, well, I just turned 69. And both of their jaws dropped. I mean, they said, oh my gosh, one, you're still active in a very active, physically rewarding field, physically, a field that requires some physical, it's physical. Let me put it that way. You get tired out. But anyways, they said, I'd have guessed you were, in your 50s, mid 50s, whatever. So I took that as a huge compliment. But at the same time, what that opened up, that door that opened then, was why? How do you look so good? And so I basically explained I practice self-care through a company and with a company that provides a group of products that creates a wellness home. And of course, what led to there, what? More questions of what is a wellness home? That sounds really cool. So I've been monitoring the chat, and I haven't seen any questions in the chat, but there's a couple things I want to talk about. And one is, this has been a very interesting year, and I think we all can agree with that. But I think some great things have come from it. One, I feel as though we are a closer global wellness community than we have ever been. And I know that with some of you and many of you on the call, Heather and I both feel closer to you. We have more conversations with you. We do more Zooms together, and actually just have more interaction. So I think that's very positive. That is all part of this massive transformational process that we are going through. And our vision for Vision 2025 really is to create 10 million new people joining us. So if you're new on the call, start today and help us achieve this. Albert Einstein said, only a life lived in the service of others is worth living. And that's always been one of my favorite quotes. And I think that's really what we bring to the table here in Nikken. So we didn't really have any questions. The one question that I get a lot is, really, where do you kind of start? And usually my conversations with people start with the product, and they are amazing. And as you've heard from our participants today, they are incredible products. Marianne talked about her scientific background. I can second that. I mean, but at the same time, if people are a little have questions about the product line, it's usually about the energy products. But that is based on science as well, just like Ben was talking about in his presentation. But let me ask you this: could everybody be healthier if you drank more water, were well hydrated with quality water? The answer would have to be yes. Would you be healthier if you got a better night's sleep? Yes. Would breathing healthy air allow you to be healthier? Yes. If you provided your body with the tools, the nutrition that it needed? Yes. I mean, it's very simple. So, Michael, I'm going to kind of just turn it back to you. And I know that we're getting close to time for the Zoom in this morning. And let's talk a little bit and maybe just a little bit from our participants in a minute or two each about where they see Nikken going. I think most of us know we have a huge vision. We have this transformational purpose in front of us that we all want to be part of. And, you know, it's, I'm just super excited. And also I want to wish everybody happy holidays and a prosperous new year. And, you know, I'm just so excited I can hardly talk.
I'm with you. This has been a lot of fun and very, very informative. So thanks, Dr. Gary. And I guess we'll just throw it up. I'm coming out of 2020 more inspired than when I went into 2020, which is almost impossible to believe because 2020 we came into 2020, the new year, with so much fanfare and the expectations of a new decade and the number 2020 and all that. 2020 is hindsight, which is turning out to be quite relevant, quite true. But I'm coming out of 2020 more excited than ever. In fact, in maybe a long, long time, I'm thrilled at the possibilities that I'm seeing. And I'm very inspired by the fact that we now have been blessed with, as of January, a new CEO whose vision for Nikken is as big as anyone's I've ever heard. And he shared with us his vision 2025, which squares us and focuses us together collectively as an organization on a future that's incredibly impactful. The MTP refers to it as the massively transformative purpose. We've heard about the 5 pillars of wellness as it can impact us as individuals, our ability to express ourselves in these 5 pillars in a more abundant and balanced way. But put that together with a group of people focused on a big outcome, and we can make a transformative impact on the world. There's science that demonstrates this, that when a few people get together, they can make an impact in a community. When a few thousand people get together, their shift in consciousness can actually change the consciousness of the planet. And so our goal is very ambitious, but very appropriate. If you like what you've seen today, everything points in the same direction. The idea of experiencing a better, more abundant, healthier quality of life through practical, tangible means, which are in alignment, in harmony with nature, not just the products, but even our way of doing business. The idea of being collaborative instead of competitive. The idea of supporting each other internationally, regardless of where we're coming from, what our backgrounds are. This is the spirit of unity and unity consciousness, which is really what's being born in this age of Aquarius. So what we have is a business that for 45 years has been the forerunner of this ideal. And we are the embodiment of that. And we are now looking outwardly and saying, okay, the time has come for the world at large to experience what we know, what we have, and shift entirely economically, emotionally, physically toward an alignment with health, spirituality, etc. It all comes together, and it comes together in a very simple, tangible, practical way with Nikken. And it's so easy for people to get involved. So don't make the mistake. I caution, the easier it is for something to be involved in, the easier it is for it to not be involved in. So don't make the mistake of seeing this as something that it just seems too simple, too easy. Thank goodness it is, because that makes it accessible. How many of you are tired of jumping through the hurdles? And some of them are so high that we don't even bother trying. Nikken has made it possible for this to be a global community and welcomes everyone. It's an inclusive environment, not an exclusive environment. And so I'm just thrilled to death. I've made 2021 a commitment to 2021 to be my best year in my last 10 years. And I haven't done bad these last 10 years. So I'm really setting the standards for myself. And I want to invite you to do the same, because I think the task at hand, which is to make a global impact, is bigger and more important and more relevant than it's ever been since I've been on planet Earth. And today I celebrate 29 years with Nikken. I'm absolutely, I'm so blessed to have discovered Nikken and being able to share this with you now 20 years later. So thank you. Anyone else want to?
It's almost 30 years.
I would just like to say one last thing, just as we're wrapping up here, is, before we hit the record button, there were a number of people jumping in that were sharing their anniversaries with Nikken, like Mike, in 23 years, 25 years, 29 years. It's not too often in today's environment that you see people in a business space where they have that type of tenure and consistency of engagement. That's just huge. And if I was to go around the room today and ask different people how long they've been in the business, it would be astounding. Maybe we can put that in the chat. Maybe some of you, if you want to write 23 years, Pam Barnes is putting up there, but maybe some of you want to put in the chat how long you've been in the business, because I think that's something worthwhile having a look at. Lorraine is saying 20 years, Heather Abbott 4 years, 25 years, Igor 20 years, 21 years, 29 years. Look at this. Does this not say something about the global wellness community that we're in? Yeah, it shows a reason for belonging and a reason for sticking around. This is a space. We live in a world today that is more connected than ever before. And we see so many companies that can have incredible success, but they can drop very quickly because one person says something wrong and it goes out into the internet and it destroys the business like that overnight, doesn't it? And yet Nikken has established its business exclusively on word of mouth recommendation. Using that phrase that Linda used at the beginning, show and tell. We're not on big advertising campaigns on television, on billboards or on radio stations or anything like that. We're not sponsoring major sporting events. We don't do any of that. It's word of mouth. And we can see, look at all these years, go through the chat. I couldn't keep up with it. It's 15, 22, 20, 21, 20, 23, 14 years, 17 years. 1 month. I love that. We got some brand new people in as well. Ranging from 1 month to 29 years. What a community.
And it's all word of mouth, and the conversations are simple. They're easy.
Yeah.
They really are. Yeah.
Yeah. And if it wasn't relevant and if it didn't make a difference, then the word of mouth would dry up pretty fast. Yeah. But it makes a difference. It has an impact. And look at this, 29 years on, and you can see how Mike still feels. How many people are in the business 29 years in any other environment, not getting emotional like that? It's so to me, that in itself is a great point to end on. There is community here that is unparalleled in the world. So I'll pass it back to you, Mike, to perhaps wrap up and close. But I think that's just something worthwhile considering.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that caught me by surprise. But it's what you said, Ben. It comes from a deep appreciation for the blessing of Nikken. And, our goal in this hour that we've had together is to express to you, the new person watching this or watching the playback of this, that it's worth every ounce of attention. It could be as life-changing for you and set a trajectory, a new trajectory, not just for yourself, but your entire family. And it has for all of us on this call. So we know the significance of what it is that is here. And we're just doing our best to help you step into our shoes for an hour and get a glimpse of what it might be like for yourself. So what is it that you need to do now? We'll certainly ask the person who invited you here to share that link that has the email information, basically a review of a lot of what we've covered today already in written form. But here's your options. Again, to remind you what Ben went over. Customer, obviously, I mean, that's a great way to get started. We all did. We all had our first experience on the products that set in motion a chain of events that naturally led us to want to tell others. And that's the role of a consultant. It took me 48 hours to go from being, what is this, to I'm in full line and sinker. And I've never looked back. The influencer is really someone who has a big vision, someone who wants to have a quality of life and a lifestyle and leave a legacy. All of these are on the table. It doesn't matter where you start, just that you start, and we'll help you get going. So we invite you to do that. We look forward to seeing you on the Nikken Highway. We want to wish everyone happy holidays as we go into the holiday season and make 2021 your best year yet. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, all the speakers. Thanks for all the attendees, and we'll see you again later. Good day.
I just have to do it. Ho, ho, ho.
Wonderful. Cheers,
Take
everyone.
care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. They're excellent. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Great job, guys. Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you. Wonderful session. Wonderful.
Thanks, everyone.